It's the Extremist movie debate, and tonight we are talking about 2018's 50 Shades Freed.
I'm unpaid intern Jeff. This is Nathan.
Hi.
We're friends. Oh, we're gonna flip a coin. One of us gonna love it. One of us gonna love it. One of us gonna hate it.
Let the coin decide their fate.
It's tails. I hate it.
Oh, I love it.
All right, guys, don't tie us up and whip us. There's spoilers ahead. That's still in this movie, right?
Naughty.
No,
Damn.
not whipping, but there is some other stuff.
All right, this movie currently has an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, so Nathan, you love it?
Shame, I do.
Great. This first question is for you. J.R. Jones of the Chicago Reader says, "What a sorry state of affairs for moviegoers. All we want is a little coitus, but all we get is interruptus."
JR.
Can you please describe what you found appealing about the story without discussing your own prurient inclinations? You have 45 seconds.
Happily. In fact, my prurient inclinations have nothing to do with the reason I love this movie so much. I think that this is a film about a very interesting and complex relationship between two people who are reticent to open themselves up to one another, and yet once they do, they discover that they're much happier that way. Of course, we already know who these people are because we've had two entire films to really understand what makes them tick, what their inner lives are like. And a lot of critics say that these movies don't have anything on their mind, but I think that E.L. James' fiction there's a lot of subtleties beneath the surface that you don't see. And just because it's not advertising itself saying, this is what my characters are thinking, this is what they want, this is what they're going to do, doesn't mean that you don't know what they're going to do. And I think that both Anastasia and Christian really go through a lot of changes in this film, and they step on a duck at one point. And,
that happens.
Yeah.
Jeff, you have 30 seconds to respond.
All right. I'm gonna disagree with you there because everyone goes to this movie expecting sex. If you know the
I'm not a pervert.
If you go to if you know the backstory that 50 Shades was written as Twilight fan fiction, just with more sex, we have the movie, and this. Originally, it lacked the story of Twilight, but it had sex. Now it lacks the story of Twilight, and it lacks sex. Why would I bring, a lady friend, trying to get her horned up, be like, let's go home in 50 Shades of Grey, but we don't even get that. We just got to get bad acting now, and no coitus at home, no coitus in the movie.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to cut you off. Oh, thank you for that. Jeff, this next question is for you. Jim Shremby of 3AW writes, strictly designed for its huge fan base of suburban wives and soccer moms, this high-gloss mommy porn schlock isn't interested in winning over any new fans as our daring duo take on the most sadomasochistic adventure of all, marriage.
Sexist.
Can you please describe why the marriage of a BDSM couple offends you to an alarming level? You have 45 seconds.
Well, it offends me because a marriage is about give and take, but in this movie, all Christian wants to do is take, while also giving that good D, which we get maybe once in the movie. He is so controlling over Anastasia that it's borderline abusive. It actually is abusive at one point in this movie, which we'll talk about when we have 2 minutes to discuss. But I think people are glorifying this movie in a weird way that shouldn't be glorified. There's an allure of taboo sexuality, but at the risk of marrying an abusive piece of garbage and being with them the rest of your life. Really, that's the movie we want, soccer moms and horny teens to go see? No, thank you.
All right, Nathan, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Well, see, this is where your entire premise is off, because the movie agrees with what you're saying. The movie thinks that Christian Grey is abusive and that he is unfair towards Anastasia in this relationship that's supposed to be giving them equal footing. I mean, she is the sub, he's the dom, so obviously he's supposed to have a little more control. But the movie shows as it goes on that he eventually figures out that if he wants this relationship to work because he loves Anastasia, that he has to give a little more than he takes, if that's an appropriate turn of phrase here.
Thank you. And you have 2 minutes to fight. Go.
All right, so she is stuck. She got married, and for a fact if she even wanted to get divorced, he would probably murder her. We have a sequence where she goes out to a bar, and she stays out too late, and to get revenge during their sexy BDSM sequence set to a shitty cover of James Brown's I Got You. It's like...
It's a great cover.
It's terrible. He chains her up and uses a vibrating sex toy on her lady bits, and every time she comes close to climax, he would pull away, and she says, "Why are you sad?" He goes, this is what happens when people disobey you. Like, now you know how I feel when you're disobedient. It's like, okay, it's different when, you have this love sex contract. It's completely different when someone is trying to live their life and have friends and, like, be in a social group.
Right, and the movie shows that after that happens, that he knows and she knows that their relationship can't continue if he's going to behave that way. And
but it does continue, and he behaves that way. The whole
they're happily married still. They have kids.
Yeah, that's
and you
great.
see that they've settled down. So he understands that if he wants to keep Anastasia around, he has to be more compassionate.
So before the post-credit sequence of them happily having kids and she's still pregnant, it ends on them in their quote-unquote playroom,
right.
And she's sitting there tied up on the floor like, do what you want.
People contain multitudes, Jeff.
No, not these characters. These characters are so fucking one-dimensional.
That I think
you could take Chance from Divergent and put her in this role, and it would be the same movie.
The fact
Jamie
that soccer
Dornan
moms
has
and
the charisma of a
people,
wet paper towel.
He's good.
She's so muted, you would think she took 47 Ambien before this movie, because she's just trudging along. No one wants to be in this movie. This movie is not romantic. It's not sexy. It's not well written. It's not good. This movie's garbage. I hate soccer moms. I hate soccer moms with kids. I hate repressed people.
All soccer moms out there, we apologize. It's terrible.
This movie's so bad. Like, it's not even like a fun bad. It's just like a bad.
Yes.
We didn't even talk about the storyline of the guy from the second movie who tried to rape her coming back as the villain.
Okay, I want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Because I didn't see the second movie.
I've seen all three.
Unfortunately.
And they're all bad. The thing that I kind of appreciated about this one, begrudgingly, was that
consistency.
It's consistently awful. So there's consistency there. This movie is at least more honest than I think the last one was in bringing in these really preposterous thriller elements. There's a car chase at one point where Anastasia Steele turns into like Vin Diesel all of a sudden, it comes out of nowhere.
And it's the way it's shot, you would think they were trying to like sell the new Audi.
Yeah, well, I think they were. I think they probably got a lot of Audi money. But I at least appreciated that they were bringing in these like crappy thriller elements, basically admitting without saying as much that this is basically one of those like Cinemax erotic thrillers from the 90s that had like William Baldwin and Shannon Tweed in them or whatever. And I like the fact that this movie, at least, I wish they had actually done more of it, because they're at least admitting like, yeah, we know that this is trash.
If they did more of that, maybe
it might have been fun.
It'd have been more fun. But the fact is,
but also like all of these thriller elements, like the bad guy that shows up, he was the lecherous boss in the second one. He shows up, and you find out that he was in the same foster home as Christian Grey, which makes no sense.
Because then it causes Christian Grey to go, if he got adopted, maybe I would have became him. It's like.
But you find that out at the very end after he's been like arrested by the police, so it has no bearing on the story
playing
whatsoever.
Literally the longest con to try and get back at someone potentially.
And all of these thriller elements too,
they get too, if you think about it.
Oh yeah, totally. And it's all wrapped up to like it's almost comical how quickly they wrap everything up.
There's weird moments that don't make any
Ora
sense.
gets kidnapped.
Anastasia gets promoted, but it's after her honeymoon, so she walks in. And she goes, oh, whose office is this? They go, yours. You got promoted. But it's decorated fully with like knickknacks and like...
She got promoted while she was out of the country.
And apparently they had someone come design her office for her, which... None of the belongings are hers at that point.
And also, I mean, yeah, you're totally right that they're like, if you're going to this for just the dirty stuff, there's barely any of it.
Yeah.
There's a scene involving ice cream that I found
disgusting.
Yeah, really disgusting. Really gross. It made me lactose intolerant.
I am lactose intolerant. I got diarrhea just watching it.
Yeah, he did. I was sitting next to him.
No, and that scene specifically too, because they're in a house with a group of other people and they're getting down and dirty dirty, just
On the kitchen table.
And
it's one of those big, like, modern houses, so you know it's echoey as hell. They can all hear it.
It's definitely an open floor plan. But I leaned over to Nathan during that scene where they're doing it on the kitchen table, and I just said, people are going to have to eat off that table.
Yeah, I was like, they're
respect.
jerks.
Yeah.
I should have cut you off minutes ago, but thank you.
They deserve
guys.
each other.
Yeah.
Would you rate it?
What did we say after the movie? I said like 2 No Thunder.
Why 2?
Because it exists. They tried something.
I'll give it, like, because, I mean...
No, I'm going to give it 2,
Yeah.
but a lot of thunder because I haven't stopped thinking about how bad it is.
See, I don't think it's bad in an interesting way at all. These are just bad, boring movies. So, like a 3, because I think Dakota Johnson is actually pretty good in these movies. You can tell that she knows she's above it.
I'll wholeheartedly disagree, but we'll save that for another
All
day.
right, I think she's fine in these movies. They're James Foley, by the way, directed this. He's the guy that made like After
Fear.
Dark, My Sweet, and Fear, and he's a good director.
Finger blasting in the second one.
Yeah, no thunder at all.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, where can we find you?
Lots of ice cream though.
Here, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Grindr,
Snapchat?
emd.pantspending.com, artificialwood.pantspending.com, Patreon, probably not going to make one. Thanks to everyone who contributes.
Friendster,
MySpace,
Flickster,
Thanks, guys.
Sand
Crackle.
Live Journal.